In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to properly construct the gear arm shown in your technical drawing with engineering graphics text by Gasecki, 14th edition. And but before I do that, I'm going to make a comment about the template that I gave you. The template that I gave you is a metric template because this is a metric drawing. There's a couple of telltale signs that let you know that it's metric drawing, but the biggest one is that you see the word metric enclosed in a rectangle. Okay, so these are all the dimensions you see are given in millimeters. Okay, so the template that you use needs to be different. Probably the biggest thing that you'll be able to tell is the title block. Now, it may not be obvious at first because this looks very much like the title block that you constructed in an earlier exercise. But if you were to click on the lines, for example, and then look at the properties palette, you can see that the length of this line is over 250 millimeters. Okay, and it's because of the size of the sheet. And this is an ISO A4 sheet, which is an international standard, and the print dimensions are 210 millimeters by 297 millimeters, 297 being the width, 210 being the height, and in this case, in our current orientation. This is equivalent to a 8.5 by 11, just in metric. Okay, so as far as the type of paper that you could use to print out this template, you could still use a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Okay, so also the other things you might notice if you go into dim style, which is where we created our dimension styles when we created our template, there's some differences here as well. If you go into modify, you can see that the text, for example, is set to 3. Well, this is 3 millimeters. The arrow size is set to 3 millimeters. That sort of thing. So this was all done for you. I just wanted to bring this to your attention before we started on the actual exercise itself. So I'm going to switch over to Model tab, Model Space, and start drawing my object. Okay, so there are, this is probably your first introduction to this, but this is a single view drawing, but the lines and circles and arcs in this drawing let you know that this object does have depth, even though we won't be drawing it. But the items around the pair of circles, concentric circles, those indicate a boss, is what it's called. It's a raised piece of metal that's common on some cast objects, and you see two of those. One has a diameter with a limit of 28.52 to 28.57, and the other, and that's the whole part, and the raised portion has a diameter of 44. Okay, and there's also another one on the drawing. The other two objects, one is kind of in the shape of a pill. Okay, this is called a pad. It's on the left side of the drawing, and again, this is a raised piece of metal. Now since we're not showing depth on this object, we won't actually be you won't actually see anything other than what's given there. Also on the right side of the object is kind of a shape of a kidney bean, and that is also called a pad. Anything other than circular or raised metal portion on a cast object like this is called a pad, and when it's circular, like the two items in the middle, that is called a boss, just to let you know. Okay? So we're going to start off at the left side of the object and work on the pad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm on my visible layer, and then I just want to draw a line anywhere in model space, and I want to draw it straight to the right. Notice I have my polar tracking turned on, and I want to draw this a distance of 25. So I'll just type in 25 and then enter. And on my drawing, it's really, really small, so I need to zoom in on that and get a little closer. Alright, now I want to use the offset command and offset this line in each direction by 11. So I want to enter O, enter, and then I specify an offset distance of 11 and then enter. I want to click on the line and then click above, and then I can just click the line again and then click below. Okay, because the reason I was able to do that is because AutoCAD, since I didn't exit the command, it maintained the offset distance of 11. So I want to demonstrate that one more time. Okay, so O, enter. Specify the offset distance of 11 and then enter. Click on the line and then click above to place the offset line, and then click on the line and then click below to place the offset line. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to offset that middle line again, and I want to offset that by 22 in each direction because I'm given a radius of 22. So I want to O, enter, and 2, 2, enter. And I want to click on the middle line and then click above, click on this line and then click below. Now I want to introduce a really neat item in AutoCAD that creates this shape automatically, and it's an option of the fillet command. It's called trim. Okay, so I want to enter the fillet command, and you can use the button up here on the modify panel, or you can just press F and then enter. And you can either click trim here, or you can just select T and then enter. And again, you have to click T and then enter. I'm not sure. We have to enter the trim mode option now. So T and then enter. And actually, no, it didn't. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. And it is telling me to select the first object. So what I want to do is I want to click on this line and then this line, and you can see it creates the arc in there. Okay. Let me go through that one more time because I kind of messed that up a little bit. So F, enter, and I want to select, it says tell me select first object, or, and I want to select trim as the option, and I need to select the trim mode option as trim, okay, and then I can click the line and then the line, okay. I'll do it one more time. So F, enter, T, enter, and then T, enter. Click there, and repeat the command by pressing the spacebar and do that. Okay. So now we have the pad drawn. Okay. Now we can see that the boss is aligned. The center point of the boss directly to the right of the pad is aligned with the center point of the pad that we just drew. Okay. So from the center of the pad here, I want to draw a line, and I'll just switch the construction layer real quick. So let me draw a line, L, enter. Okay, if you don't have the center object snap turned on, the running object snap here, is indicated here by the pointer, you can just type CEN and then enter, but I already have mine turned on, so I'll just click the center. And now we're given a dimension of, oh goodness, we're actually not given a dimension from the center of the pad directly to the boss. We are, however, let me try this. Let me draw a line from the center over here, and you can see that we're given a dimension of 148 to the center, the lower portion of the pad on the right side of the object. So let me just go ahead and draw a line 148 and then enter. Okay, make sure that's horizontal. And from there, we're given another dimension back 60. And what I'll do here is I'll just draw a circle with a radius of 60 to locate that point. Okay, because I want to go ahead and draw the boss. So I've located that point now, and let me switch back to my visible layer, and let me draw the whole part of the boss. Okay, now we're given a diameter of 28.52 to 28.57, and that's a limit dimension. Okay, we're going to draw it at the lower limit of 28.52. This is telling the whoever makes the part that that hole can be made, it can have a tolerance anywhere between 28.52 and 28.57. In other words, it can be any size in between 28.52 and 28.57. So we're going to just draw it at the lower limit, at that the quadrant of the circle or the intersection of the line and the circle, either one. So we're going to specify a diameter. So I entered the circle command, and it's asking me for a radius, but I want to give it a diameter. So I'll type D, enter, and then I want to draw it at the lower limit, so 28.52, and then enter. Okay. Using that same point, I want to draw a circle with a diameter of 44. So I'll type C, enter. From that point, D, and then 44.